I was sorry to hear that you'd lost your voice for so long, or I would have been, but I couldn't hear you that you'd lost your voice because you lost your voice and I couldn't hear you. God damn it, Italian. Scallywag. But yeah, I was a little bit surprised that you weren't streaming while at TwitchCon, honestly. Seems to be the thing to do. Start unloading all of this. Then I can get rid of some of these containers. Like, these are uniquely indoors items, so I don't mind having them in here. I mean, the wrench probably could live somewhere else, if I'm perfectly honest. Can I just strip this thing down? Can I grind you into nothing? Cannot be dragged. Hand drill required to oh, fantastic, yes. Haha! You now live in there. We've had one storm, and I'm not super thrilled with the idea of having to deal with another one. These. Also, while I'm in here, I should really not be using my air from in here. I should instead open my helmet, because this is a breathable environment. Oh yeah, not too bad. Why do you always look at your tablet for temp? Isn't it also displayed next to your camera? Oh yes, it is. You're quite right. Someone helped me earlier by pointing out that the pressure in the room is displayed in the same place. And I hadn't really considered the whole temp thing, but you're quite right. It is. Go, making loads of room in here now. I'm going to need the network analyzer eventually. But right now, it's very much not a priority. Oh, thank goodness. There we are. This is getting a little bit more manageable now. We've got some food and bits and bobs in here. Also a bottle of water. I mean, I'm going to be honest, this locker is just full of odds and ends. It's not exactly the best locker as a consequence, but yeah, oh well. I want to take the battery out of this. Our battery can be useful in other places. And we got a microdon. Or a pop-de-ping, if you're English, and the Welsh are going to take the mick out of you by trying to make you believe that we call things certain things. There we go. Alright, that has made so much more room in this area. I'm not going to strip the seed crate, but I might get rid of this one. How many more space? We haven't got enough space. Maybe if I made like a corner cabinet or something, that would work, but yeah, this is fine for now. Come on. There we go. Thunk. This is much better. Right, we've got the tomatoes are thriving towards fruiting. The potatoes are doing well, thriving towards fruiting. Once they've fruited, they will also then move on to seeding. Now, let me read back in chat a little bit, though. Stationeers has always intrigued me, but I have been intimidated. It looks like a great game to watch someone who knows what they're doing, so I guess I'll keep looking. Why did I take the time to go back and read that message, Italics? I know who you are. I know the sorts of things you say. Why did I think for a moment, dude? I do this to myself. But this is actually... It's funny that you mentioned that, Italics, because honestly, I kind of feel like this game would scratch your Stationeers itch. Stationeers. Starbase. Obviously, it would scratch your Stationeers itch if you got one. But it definitely has that sort of vibe for me. You're actually doing very well on one can of soup, I must confess. Crispy Golf, thank you very much for the 65 months. Italics for the 39 months as well. And, of course, the raid. But how heavy are the survival mechanics, Italics asks? Depending on the difficulty, quite heavy. But at normal, I'm not having too much trouble with it. That being said, like, the food in the game seems to be very... well, very gamey, basically. It's a little bit all over the place. In that you need to eat and drink constantly, otherwise your character effectively seems to think they're starving and or dying of thirst and then starts losing health. Am I building a planetary outpost exclusively, or do you have a ship or orbital? You do build ships, but you never really exist in the ships. I think that is something that they're looking at adding, but it's not something that exists in the, like, building the internals of a ship, like something like Starbase or Empyrean Galactic Survival. But I've seen a lot regarding that setup and what they're hoping to do with it from the seams of it. This is just such a pain. It does look like their ultimate goal is to have it so that you can make spaceships and dock and move around and that sort of thing. How much actual flight mechanics would be involved in that, I'm not really sure. But right now, you can effectively have autonomous rockets that you construct out of various parts that you can send off to do mining missions, and you have to provide the fuel, provide the logic to launch them. Or you can build your own ship and go to a different planet, one of several different planets you can visit. You can progress through building, through to building a ship and then traveling to a new planet and starting with what you pack. Yeah, Dunkirk. Yeah, it's kind of like a new game plus in a sense. Can you actually come back to the planet you leave, though? That's something I've often wondered. Like, can you come back to exactly the planet you left? I deeply regret the way that this is going to look. It doesn't feel like there's much I'm going to be able to do about it. Unless there is another variant of this, perhaps? No, because if you mouse wheel, you just see lots of different types of air conditioning. That being said, if I made this as a airtight seal outside, I could probably dig in here and then run the pipe underneath. Actually, let's give that a try. I lose nothing by attempting it. Citation, yeah, you can route it through the floor. It's a little bit of a complicated thing, though, because if I remove the sort of the cladding that's around the frame of the floor, it will no longer be an airtight seal, which, as you can imagine, would be pretty bad for me in this immediate situation.
Waste tank critical.
I'm just going to vent my waste tank in here since it's only full of CO2. And my plants will enjoy it anyway. Right, okay, so let's turn on AC, air, filter, and then close my helmet, lock my helmet so I don't do myself a mischief. I will be right back. I'll vent out this room. It's down to empty. Cool. Right, let's go. Now, I'm going to need iron sheets, 2 iron sheets, and an iron frame. There. That was steel. Let's go. Now, I believe if I build it here, that should be enough. But we'll see. Of course, I did actually put my wrench inside this time. How vexing. You can automate this. You can make, you know, legitimate airlocks. I am just making use of the fact that there are now manual airlocks for the first time that I'm aware of. That allow us to play around with this a little bit more freely. At what point should I use insulated pipes? At the point where I don't want the atmosphere or anything else interacting with the temperature of those pipes. If I specifically want the atmosphere to interact with the temperature of those pipes, which is the case right now, then this is very much not that time. Let's go ahead and print this. Just got a couple more of these frames, consider I'm probably going to be making use of them in a moment. You can vent your waste canister without removing it, so it doesn't yell at you. I'm not... Oh. My light ran out of its battery. That is going to be hard to get used to. Actually, what I'll do is this. Since I do want one of these powerful lights in it. There we go.
Critical.
Really? Oh, well, now you're just being a jerk. Fine. I was going to give a nice big power battery to this thing, but I guess not. This light is amazing, though. By far and away one of the better things that chat has told me about. Right, now I need some iron sheets. I need a welder. Now that should give me a completely sealed environment in there. Fortunately, I'm about to use my welder, which is going to be a pain. But it is what it is. Do I need the axe grinder? Nope. Wrench. Really? A wrench? Okay. Right. Now, it hasn't vented out, even though it looked like it for a second. What happened there was this was effectively a vacuum. Good, I hope. I may have to get right down there, but yeah, it looks like I am going to have to take it back another level as well. This one I do need the grinder for, I think. No, is there still a wrench to deconstruct? Oh, okay. Enough. Get that in the right place. There we go. Nope. Wrong type of connection. There. It is finicky in an absolutely wild way sometimes. But that will give me what I need. Do I want to do any other kind of routing right now, or am I good with that? No, I think running the power over there shouldn't be too much of a problem. The only big issue I'm about to have, though, is I'm about to introduce a lot of pollutants into this area by portable generators, hydroponics. Oh, I've left the rubber outside. I'm going to need to bring that back in because I am about to use quite a lot of fuel. So that will now have introduced some pollutants in here. Not a great deal. Not so much that it's going to affect the plants, I don't think. But I would like to clear that out if I can. Craft, thank you very much for the 24 months. Diolch yn fawr iawn. Yep. And I should be able to get rid of the frame now as well. Okay, not the worst cleanup, certainly. Take the portable scrubber in with me. Radiator kit. Thing. Let's go for a 3-way connector. Not to that junction, no. There we go. I can just have 2 radiators out here to try and help with this. Doesn't matter too much where I'm pointing this. There are 2 types of radiators. One is better for a vacuum. One is better if there's an environment. Where you point them does actually matter, since pointing at the sun, having the fins, you know, prominent towards the sun, will cause them to warm. But for the period of time that the sun is going to be directly on those fins, it's not really going to make much of an impact for us with what we are doing. Did I pick up? Oh, I did not pick up the filters for the scrubber. That. Let's go ahead and deploy this. Filter. 2 filter. And a battery. Yep. Now then. Oh, I should have brought in the wires, actually, thinking about it, but we'll get those in a second. This should not take too much more time. I'm going to need to fill this with CO2. So what I'm probably going to just do is grab an active vent. Do I have one in here? No, I'm going to have to make an active vent and fill that up. That being said, I think Will this fill up its own waste pipe? Oh, I left that on. That was very silly of me. Burning battery for no reason. This. Down it goes. Aavak got halfway through my Banksy pass and got sidetracked, completed by his torch running out of battery. Oh, right, sorry. You can vent your waste canister without removing it so it doesn't yell at you. I'm not certain what the button is with the keyboard, but it's whatever you do to open menus. Right click, I think. Oh, right, so it'll be R then for me. Sorry about that, Kuro. I should have actually left that inside, thinking about it though. The vent there. Right, I'm going to need to take all of this out. Active. Gold and copper. I'm going to create this, but I'm not going to deploy it just yet, because I would actually like to see whether the aircon will use its own power for this. Use the atmosphere from inside for that, or not. The kit battery is actually getting decently charged now as well, which I'm very happy to see. That battery's doing well. In fact, that battery's doing well enough that I should probably deploy this. Again, if there is any tip that I've received during this stream, it is absolutely the fact that I can use this light instead of my lamp on my helmet. Not that you'd think I paid any attention, considering how often I don't do that, but right, okay, so this side is the power. Power can travel through pipes if you want it to, but it has to be a straight line traveling across a pipe. It can't be going through a curve as far as I'm aware. It can't have any other kind of deviation like that. Yep. So let's see if this will work. And we're on. Start it up. And I believe for the moment it's going to try and just draw atmosphere into the waste pipe. And then it'll start exchanging heat with that waste pipe. Or maybe it won't. Maybe it won't do that at all. Nope. Okay. Stop it for now. Alright. Well, it was worth testing, if nothing else. But we're just going to need to set up a little vent out there. Thankfully, it won't be difficult for us to do. Can I not attach this? Oh, it's got to attach to a wall. Fair enough. To grab these then. Let's fill this up with about a megapascal, well, maybe 2 or 3. Make sure there's a decent amount of atmosphere in there for heat transference to occur. I think you can go as high as 4 or 5. That's enough. Well, actually, I think these might be able to handle pressures much higher than that, but I don't feel there's much need to. I'd go. Don't go. You in here. And finally, move this. Right, there we go. That should be all we need to do. Now, if we have a check of the temperature in here, it's currently 16.2. Temperature outside is dropping slowly, but there's quite a lot more pressure in this pipe. We've also got, there's a little bit of stress there because we've got some liquids building up. Pollutant is generally, from what I can tell, a good cooling fluid, or coolant rather, because of its specific heat capacity. CO2 is not the greatest one, but I think a lot of people use it anyway, just because it's, especially on Mars, quite ubiquitous. Let's get that out of here. It's gone. Right, let's open up. Okay, now let's start you up and see how this goes. Awesome. Let me open my helmet. So, temperature is going down. We are dumping a lot of heat into that pipe in order to equalize it. Yeah, no, this is perfect. And we'll just leave that on from now on. It drinks a decent amount of power, but this is a very simple system to take care of everything going on in here. And, you know, as long as we're not having to cool this place too aggressively, we'll be able to shed the heat from that pipe without... Oh. Okay. Storm just arrived. Goodbye to being able to see anything. Also, my solar panels are going to get busted. Oh, I didn't close the door, the cupboards. I wonder if that's going to matter. Oh, I bet it will. Alright, we're going out. Got too much stuff in those things for me to throw away. Oh god, it is angry out there. Oh, thank goodness it's particle effect. I was like, are those like, is that stuff being thrown around out here? I was wondering if the Martian atmosphere was freezing through the storm. Ah, balls! How many times do I do that? Ah. I have no idea what I've done to that atmosphere now.
Hydration critical.
I guess we're about to find out. How many times am I going to do that? Shockingly, we have not really damaged it. How on earth did we get away with that? A tiny amount of pollutant is in here. That's it. A tiny amount of that. Have I still not brought that bloody thing back in? I have not. Oh well. I am shooketh. By our fortune. They are great. Everyone knows that you plug in a microwave by wrenching it onto your table. Everyone knows this. Oop. Let's get this the right orientation. There we are. Though, honestly, if I'm going to do that, I may as well connect it here. Yeah. Okay. I could... Oh yeah, actually this is already seeded. Well, is it thriving towards seeding? 2 potatoes there. This one has seeded. So we can reclaim a seed. We only had 3 potato seeds. We used all 3 there. But now, I can take these potatoes, replant one of them. Pop this potato in the microwave, turn it on. Beautiful baked potato. Life is good. However, I don't really have anywhere to put it. Because I am still currently eating a can of soup. I guess I don't need to finish it. I can eat my potato instead. Won't last long. Apparently dying from dumping your tank without flushing helmet is one of the most common newbie mistakes. You either burn through your filters faster, or you don't have all the filters you need. Huh. I wish I knew what you were talking about. It moved up. So that's why my microwave won't work. Yeah, you didn't wrench it down properly. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much where we're going to wrap things up tonight. I've got to go get ready to go pick up a friend from the airport. Potatoes, indeed. Boil them, mash them, stick them in the stew. I will grab the seeds if I can. Yep, all of them have seeded. Now, it's going to take way longer for the tomatoes to grow. However, tomatoes grow in a totally different way to potatoes. In that they will gradually refruit. Those potatoes will last a total of 8 hours. We will definitely have eaten through all of that. This is actually not looking like a bad base, all things considered. We've got a decent little spot in here. What's the temperature currently? Oh, I'm out of battery. Let me sort that out. Temperature's a balmy 19.3. You're welcome, Bilal. I'm glad you enjoyed it, mate. Oh, I expected more of a colony management thing when I saw Oni as one of the parents. Hopefully enjoying. Yeah, this is not the sort of thing where you would manage the colony yourself, but this is definitely a game where if you are playing in multiplayer, it becomes a colony management sim. The one person tasked with getting stuff done is definitely going to end up feeling like they're managing or trying to herd a bunch of cats. Yep. Yeah, I think we've got a nice little spot here. What we could end up doing is expanding this area out dramatically, actually. Getting like a proper entry area with suits that we could hook up that would be able to dump waste, that would be able to automatically refill oxygen, etc., etc. Oh, congratulations, Citatio. I'm glad your package arrived, mate. How much damage did the storm cause? You know what? That's a fair question. I guess we can go out and check that before I do anything else. Let's go and have a look at that. -21 right now. And I have way increased the target of my temperature there. That should not be that high. Let me grab glass. Go and repair all these. I notice my kit battery is definitely doing well. Oh, that was very little damage. So little on that one that I barely feel the need to repair it. This one a little bit more so. I'm watching a multiplayer game where everyone has wildly different knowledge levels. It's amazingly chaotic. Are you talking about the one where they're terraforming Mars? Uh-oh. There's a mod where you can use where you can literally change the atmosphere on Mars. Demonwork says yes. Yeah, I've been watching the same one, I think. It looks gloriously fun. And there's no small part of the reason why I'm playing this at the moment. How hot is this? 630 Kelvin. There's one or two things we could make with that, but nothing that I'm looking to make right now. Alright, okay. Little base, but it's our home. It's doing well, I think. Got a little greenhouse on the go. Got water, plenty of water, like 40 odd litres of water. Got air conditioning happening. We've got a decent bit of energy collection going on. I definitely feel that we could expand out a lot. And if we do, I would probably be inclined to expand out in this direction. Draw this wall out a little bit further. Have more wall internal that I can build things on. But yeah. Tired gamer syndrome. Yeah, I know that you can do that. I just don't really have the space for it right now to make it look aesthetically pleasing. But yeah, if you put your, much like surviving Mars, if you build your solar panels inside a glass dome, they don't get as much wear and tear. You do sacrifice a little bit of efficiency, though, if I am not mistaken. You do lose a little bit of your solar efficiency if they're having to compete with the glass as well. But a small price to pay to not have to repair them all the time. Oh, Kuro Okami says that they lose a dramatic amount of efficiency. Really? I wasn't aware of that. I was under the impression it only very slightly lowered it. That's very interesting. Right, it's currently 20.3. And it looks like our AC is having to kind of fight for that through most of the day. It may well get... Well, at night, I imagine it stops having to struggle, simply because it's not going to be competing with the sun. But this is a decent enough setup, and we're charging our batteries well. Just to throw out some of the long-term goals you can have in this game. We can, of course, build rockets, automate mining. And that can be done in a couple of ways. You can have rockets that automate mining. They fly off and mine, return the materials to you. You can build an Amy, a little autonomous robot that'll go and do it for you. And ultimately, you can also build deep ore miners, which drill all the way down to like bedrock level, whatever that is. And they gather dirty ore, which needs further refinement, but will provide you with sort of a percentage base on what ore they get back. So every gram of deep ore will kind of mirror the ratio of surface ores that you'll have on the planet. So, for example, if there was a 2% chance that you'd find uranium, then 2% of all the deep ore you find would be uranium. Were you the person who terraformed Mars without people on it, Aavak? Oh, yeah, in Surviving Mars, yeah. Yeah, you can do it with Brazil.